Hello, Vincent. How are you?
Hi, Mauricio. How are you?
Good, thank you. Welcome to this interview. Thank you for sharing with me your time and your expertise about AI. And I wanted to ask you a few questions to understand what is the proper way and to implement AI and what were your main takeaways from this implementation at work. So to start, I'd like to ask you to briefly describe what your business does and what is your role in this.
So, as a founder of SeaDev, we provide small enterprise and administration software development. So, our company is based in the UK, and basically, we provide mainly specific customized software. And we focus on supporting small business on microservices and integration of software to enhance business performance. Uh, that's mainly what we do.
Excellent. So for this current client, could you tell me about the project that you're currently working on?
So one of our client is Ilex Elevator. It's a French elevator business based in Antibes in France. It's a small, medium enterprise, around 30 million turnover, 150 employees. And so we started a project with them in 22 regarding PDF parsing. So very simple automation software of maintenance and audit report. From an elevator auditor company like Bureau Veritas, and we needed to export the data into a database. So our client requested recently a new solution to support the technician, the expert that they have in audit of the elevator. And what we needed to do is to extract and process findings, which are observation, from an audit elevator, to group them into different tasks and allocate them to the correct department to be processed, or what we will see after, just support them in the assignment to this department. The problem that we have is that a typical database management today, it cannot know how to group natural language sentences that have the same semantic. That's today technically impossible. So we realized that in order to deliver the solution, we would need to use artificial intelligence. And in 2024, in the beginning of 2024, we started understanding that with the nature of the findings, okay, which is natural language, we will need to solve the problem of clustering this into similar semantic. So that's what we did.
Excellent. So, trying to understand better the business needs of your client, what do you think is the main goal of Ilex while implementing this AI solution? What is the main business goal?
So that's a good point. So you see, we started in 22 with just very simple software. And when you ask the questions, okay, AI, whether what was their main goal, we came up with a solution. So the main goal was to automate the process of analyzing the audit report to improve the efficiency, okay, and the quality of the maintenance in compliance with the French regulation. That's the main goal that they have, which is their business goal. Then the audit report is done today every 6 weeks. Okay. So the volume of information that the expert needs to process is extremely high. And the problem is that the expert today, he needs to read this document fully, which is like 19 pages document. Okay. And this is too high volume of work for him to analyze. So I would say yes for the AI solution. And from a software perspective, the objective for the business need is to reduce the workload and convert all of this data entry and this manual checking into only I would say, semi-automatized decision making. So it's to only use the expertise of the technician and not having him either do a data entry or a manual checking with reading all of this PDF.
Right. Very clever way to solve this. Excellent. In terms of the AI implementation, what do you think is the reason why Elix, your client, was motivated to consider this AI solution?
So they came to us with this current problem that I described, right? And we thought that we could do this with a simple relational database. But we've quickly figured out our limits and the fact that we would not be able to do this because of the unstructured information that we were facing. Okay, so we as SeaDev proposed to them to test this artificial intelligence as a solution to their problem. So it was we proposed the client, and the client said, "Okay, we are ready."
Okay, you are ready. But now, was the client ready? And that's a question I'm proposing to you now. Like, was Elix ready for this AI implementation in terms of its dimensions?
Well,
Or
I believe they were ready
they
because
were?
they are structured. So they are structured because they have an ERP system, they have dashboard solution that are here, and all of this was previously set up. Okay, and I think that the people within the company, they were eager to accept the change. Okay, they work to convince all the stakeholder, because we needed to convince the auditor, we needed to convince the people internally that this was good to be implemented. And we needed to convince as well other person like the regulator as well, which are verifying the audit. The data points were here. We had prepared from the previous project that we started in 22, clear database with all the observations structured correctly. And all of it was of quality to be processed by the artificial intelligence. In terms of knowledge management, a company of this size is already structured, so everything was available. We worked on their infrastructure. Okay, so we work on their own server, so they have everything in terms of digital tool to welcome the solution and to make the solution work. um, I I could say that one of the main thing was that from bottom to top management in this company, the culture is all about digital progress. Okay, so the the technology available to set up artificial intelligence, it was there. What I can say is that, of course, we had a problem, which is the problem that was requested is the problem of processes. Okay, there is a bottleneck here, and therefore I would say that maybe we needed to redesign the process, and this is what we did actually with the artificial intelligence integration within the process. So we had to redesign the process to make sure that yes, they were ready. So I would say yes, this is one of the things that we have changed at Elex. Yes.
Amazing. Now, going a bit deeper into the solution, how does this AI work? Like, what does it predict, or does it achieve?
Well, so this specific, it's very customized. Okay, this AI solution aimed to process findings, which are observation from the audit reports, to be analyzed and to become a task, and then assign this task to a given department. So we reduce the manual workload, improve the accuracy, and eliminate the bottleneck. So we have enabled the automatic clustering of these findings that convey the same or a similar task. by clustering them.
Nice. And in order to perform these, to achieve these, what were your requirements in terms of experts or data points, observations? Could you explain a bit on it?
So in order to make this work, of course, experts were needed. So we had an expert from all different, like from all different places. So like the auditor, the elevator auditor was very important. The technical expert from our client, IDEX, was extremely important. Of course, management was important because of the culture and the fact that you needed to have someone to make the decision and take the decision. And from us, we had a software engineer and a data analyst. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that combination of all these people and a lot of communication and a lot of sharing enable us to select the right data point. So first, of course, the training data, which is all the previous report that we parsed, back into 2022, generate a big database with all the information regarding this previous audit. And we enrich this data with many other variables and information from the ERP system,
Mm-hmm.
which for us, but not us as SeaDev, for us as all the experts, were agreeing that yes, this is needed for the purpose of our analysis. So what we did is that we applied the same process as after to the test data, and that enable us to solve this this problem, which is basically assign a finding to a specific task and assign a department to execute this task.
Great. Those were your observations then. Great. Can you describe a bit of the AI strategy that you follow, or maybe even the types of AI that you use to come up with this solution?
So it's not only one AI, okay? It's a combination of different model, and it's a process as well. So to implement artificial intelligence, we needed to leverage many open source software and as well many open source model. And then we process the findings that are written in natural languages using a model submitted to another type of model called FAS to create a vector database for the research, for the purpose of the research. And then we calculate the distance using the k-nearest model. And in order to visualize it, the minimum Spanish tree was displayed into a 3D model. And that model enable to see the observation, okay? And then once you select one observation, you can see which are the other observations that are similar. And they're not going to be written in the same way, of course. They're going to be written in their natural language.
Wow, multiple AIs working together in one single process. That's very interesting. Now, how do you measure that this is actually working? Like, do you have a measure of success for this solution?
So that's a very, very good question. What we managed to show and what we managed to do and we managed to replicate is that for one auditor, you had about 16,000 findings for 1 year,
Mm-hmm.
meaning that our semantic clustering needed to treat and process the 16,000 findings and to group them into similar tasks. And we managed to group to 1,800 tasks, which basically reduced the workload by 90%. So the indicator that we use is a compression ratio, measuring the ratio of clustering from the raw data to the group.
Great. Now, let's move on into the challenges that you faced during this implementation. What were the main challenges you saw during this process?
Well, the first challenges is structuring the data, getting the right information, getting the experts agreeing that there is one understanding, and making sure that all of the experts agreed and that the organization is basically ready to receive the solution or to integrate the solution. And the second one is automating the attribution of the task, which is still for us an ongoing challenge, because our customer would like now that the groups, so the cluster that have become task, are now automatically assigned to department. But currently, after the implementation of the solution, we just said that the selection and the assignment needs to still be done by a human, okay? Because there is a technical expertise, there is accountability that needs to be taken, okay? And you need a clear understanding as well of each single department workload, because you do not want to attribute a task automatically without having considered so many other dimensions. Therefore, we consider that human, okay, need to act here.
So you basically automated the manual task and converted everything into a decision-making process. Humans are not doing manual stuff, but working on using their minds now.
Expertise at work.
Excellent. Now let's jump into the ethics and governance during this AI development. What do you think are the main policies that will be considered to ensure that there is an ethical and use of this solution um, and it's effective?
This is a good question. When you send it to me, I was just, trying to think how to answer it, and I think the honest way is that we haven't defined or written any policy, voilà, around AI, and we are just working with it and adapting, and we work with our customer infrastructure. So, for example, we do not store any data or application of our client. We support them. We have access, of course, to their system, but this is based on a contractual agreement. We have NDAs and so on and so forth. So yeah, but we've not specifically defined and designed policies around AI. Maybe it's because of the size of our company, or maybe it's because we focus on what matter, which is making our client more efficient, and that in policies maybe it will come later, in a later stage. Voilà.
Perfect. Let's
But it's a good question.
yeah, it's a process that we need to take in consideration as well. Now, as a learning point, what would you advise other companies, clients, or even developers considering AI adoption? What would you share with them as a lesson learned?
Well, I think you have to work with your people. You have to work with your processes and on your processes, and you have to work with the existing information technology and system that you have in place. You cannot replace them from one day to another. You have to integrate, you have to adapt, and so on and so forth. So for people, I think you need to be ready to accept that some decisions are going to be taken and are going to be supported by artificial intelligence and not by the people themselves. And that's very sometimes for some tasks and for some people difficult to accept. But it's something that needs to be talked about.
Yeah.
For process, I think you need to redesign them to ensure that you're correct in the way you're leveraging artificial intelligence and that you have clear process to structure and enhance the business operation. That's very important. And for the last one is working with what you have. So you need to be sure that you are working within an existing information system, and you need to be sure as well that you have to, or you need to not to be sure, but you need to make a choice, which is either you outsource, either you build it. But it's a path that you choose. Either you choose OpenAI, which is proprietary, or you choose Llama or other open source AI solution that you can adapt and that you can build in-house. And that's a choice that is to be done. And it's very important for the future of your organization.
So basically, they need to focus on people, processes, and technology.
Right.
Exactly. Perfect. Now, one open question. Throughout this interview, we touched many points, but you are the expert in AI. What do you think we missed to talk here? What would you say something really important for customers, clients, or even developers to take in consideration while working with AI?
I think, well, there's many, but I think one is do not underestimate the cost of artificial intelligence. I think that it comes with great powers comes great responsibility. Okay,
It's true.
so I think that one needs to understand that leveraging AI needs to solve a business purpose and it needs to generate added value, because otherwise you'll be facing tremendous expense, tremendous cost in research and development with very little business success. Okay. So, and I think not underestimate the cost is yeah, one of the key points for
It is. And it's, I think, where most of the companies fail to focus on while implementing solutions, and that works for any industry, not just when they work in technology or specifically AI. I touch about it because
the
I used to work as a project manager, as a financial planning and analysis manager, and people don't consider the budget as it should be, and they want to reduce always all the time the costs, and that never works.
No, and you're completely right, and I think this is one of the thing where you have to define a business problem. So it has to create some, like it has to solve you have to solve a problem. Okay, so you have to value this problem and kind of understand when you apply a model, what value are you going to get from it? Because if you just launch a project without clearly defining a problem, building and writing a very well specified scope of work, you can end up creating more bottleneck
Mm-hmm.
or implementing artificial intelligence and uh, not solving the problem. So yeah, it's very something that needs to be thought through.
Yes, yes. Well, Vincent, thank you so much for your time for this interview. It's a pure gold. I
Mauricio,
wish I
thank you
can
very much.
use it while I work and continue to grow in my professional career. And I hope the best of the success for you as well in your company. And I hope we can stay in touch for future endeavors as well.
Definitely. And thank you for the opportunity. It was a great exercise, I would say. And I really appreciate that you use my humble SeaDev company as your project.
Thank you, Vincent. Have
See
a
you.
good night. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.